Hi.
And welcome to today's episode of the Young Diplomats of Ghana podcast. We are coming to you today from the beautiful, audacious city of Bonn in Germany. Okay, so today we have on the show
Godwin Yao Doe.
Okay, and
Meldon Ansah Koi Agyarkwa.
And your host Sedinam Botwe, the Chief Delegates for Cohort V of the Diplomats of Ghana. Today's topic is bridging borders, diplomacy and the role of young diplomats in global cooperation. So as part of the conversation, we're talking about how us as young diplomats can contribute to the field of international diplomacy based off the background of the things that we've learned from the visits we have had so far. So we'll start off with Godwin. So far, how's your time been in Germany?
For me, it's been a fantastic journey. It's been quite insightful and an ease in the complexity of diplomacy. I'm beginning to understand a couple of terms from a different perspective, beginning to appreciate the opportunity I have. And I think each and every one of us have gotten this feel. And I think we can actually do better when we get back to Ghana. Thank you.
Sounds good. Meldon, what about you?
Yeah, for me, it's also been very fun and insightful. I mean, traveling with you guys, I mean, it's been such a happy experience. I mean, there are certain things we did which I wouldn't want to say here, but yeah, I've also had the opportunity to interact with people in Germany. Germans are very friendly. Even outside the diplomatic space, we've had the opportunity to engage on other levels. And yeah, I look forward to further engagements in the future.
That's lovely. And so in terms of the visits, so far we've had quite a number of institutional visits. We've been to Berlin, and then we've been in Bonn. In Berlin, we visited the GIZ and then the AMC as well. We also went to the European Union Youth Parliament.
Yeah.
And then here in Bonn, we went to the UNIL campus, right?
Yeah.
And then we also went
DW.
the studio of DW. So I'll leave it back to Godwin and tell that as well. Tell us their favorite visits so far and what they learned from those visits.
Oh, for me, my favorite visit so far was a visit to the Ghanaian embassy in Berlin. Yes, the interaction with the ambassador and the entire chancellery and also the consular officer exposed a lot of things about bilateral diplomacy. And bilateral diplomacy is one that I think is very necessary and important in fostering trade, economic development, and also engaging young people in other priority areas of common interest between Ghana and Europe, specifically Germany.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Meldon, what about you?
So for me, the highlight for me has been our visits to the UN campus in Bonn, specifically because we had the opportunity to meet someone from Ghana, our very own, who was also in a high-level position here in the UN campus. And it's encouraging. I mean, as young diplomats of Ghana, we are also aspiring to be in such positions of influence. And so we look forward to participating in training opportunities and also engaging further with such people, because he shared some opportunities online, which we're definitely going to take advantage of when we get back to Ghana. So yeah.
Okay, so zooming in on, the hard, strict law aspects of the conversation. So, as part of our work as diplomats, we realize that we are governed by certain things like international law, certain frameworks, certain treaties, and all of that. And you realize that can cause somewhat of a challenge when it comes to cooperation between countries. Because you have situations where some countries decide to court things that they will do when they're suddenly disregarding the laws and thinking that, they can get away with it because that's what it is. I think our visit to the UN campus in Bonn highlighted that aspect of international law. But then that aside, are there any challenges that either of you maybe noticed from some of the things that we spoke about? And how do you think that us as young diplomats can help bridge that gap?
Yeah. Okay, so I'd like to go first. So what I remember was our host at the UN campus mentioned that there were so many opportunities available globally, but it looks like most of the people from Asia and other continents are the ones taking advantage of those opportunities. There's a big gap when it comes to people from Africa, people of color like us. We are also very smart people, and these opportunities are equally available for us. So I think this is something that, going back to Ghana, we're going to share with people, even through this podcast. We want to make sure that we advocate for people who have an interest in diplomacy, so take certain initiatives such as joining the YDG and other NGOs that are into diplomacy and training of young people in this area, so that we can take up roles in the future.
Yeah, I can agree.
That has been an insightful one. I mean, from the multilateral perspective. And because I enjoyed the bilateral discussion between Ghana and Germany, one challenge, there are a couple of challenges, and I would like to highlight one for now. And one challenge I would like to highlight is the aspect of the language barrier, because there's a cultural drift and shift from one country to another. Moving from Ghana to Germany, if you don't understand Dutch, how are you going to, or German, how are you going to facilitate, common interests and conversations? So language is very, very important, which has been sort of a little gap, I think, is posing a challenge to the world of diplomacy. The other aspect I would like to highlight is the aspect of the complexity of the diplomatic etiquette. You know, when you come down from a different country, another country, there are certain things you will need to do with the protocols. And I think this varies from one country to another. And it's quite complex. So I think that has been a challenge. And I think I'll just hold it on for now.
Thank you. So what do you think that we as young diplomats can do better? So how can we help bridge the gap?
As young diplomats, one of the very things I think we can do is we should take language seriously. In Ghana, for example, we are surrounded by a lot of francophone countries. To the north is Burkina Faso, to the east is Togo, and to the west is Ivory Coast. And these are all francophone countries. And if you're a young diplomat in Ghana, you need to take French very seriously. And if you find an area of interest in any European country, you can go ahead and then explore their language as well. And in the complexities of the diplomatic etiquette, I think immersion programs and also embarking on exchange as we are doing, and also privileged to also be participating in, is very much important, because we've gotten to understand and also expose some of these gaps in the world of diplomacy, which I think you and I can effectively work on as a challenge, and also moving forward, develop a solution to that. Thank you.
Yeah, that sounds good. Meldon?
Yeah, I'd also want to touch on the language barrier. I think in Ghana, it's just English that we mainly focus on, but then we should try and learn French and other languages, the UN languages especially. And also I think it's essential that as young people, we need to build our capacity right from the tertiary level, universities, because there are a lot of exchange programs available for students. Personally, when I was in the university, I didn't take advantage of this, and I deeply regret it. But it's something I always tell people that are now coming, people that I'm older than, that they should explore, they should look for a lot of opportunities. They should join NGOs, they should join societies that have a keen interest in building the capacity of young people. So that could be a place to start from, and then once you move, you'll figure it out.
I think for me, one challenge that I found was very interesting, which I think the consular officer, the Ghana ombudsman, discussed, was the issue of, as a diplomat, you are supposed to approach things with tact.
Yeah.
So even when you don't necessarily agree with a certain policy direction that your government is bent on talking under, you still have to be able to defend that policy as if you were the one who proposed. Yeah. So he gave a very personal example, and I really appreciated that about the conversation. And it touches me a lot, because I'm somebody who likes to defend the things that I believe in.
Yeah.
And so if I personally don't believe in something, it's very hard for me to say that, I'm going to take the step to go out all out and defend that thing. So I really like that experience a lot. And it taught me a lot about what it means to even be a diplomat. The fact that you are not going there as yourself, but you are going there to represent an entire nation, and so you must act in their best interest. So that being said, I don't know, any closing remarks from everyone?
For me, to close this, I think this has been a wonderful opportunity, and I urge other young people out there to take things like this seriously, because podcast is one of the best ways to communicate intentions, to communicate opportunities, and also to communicate what we can do collectively. I don't think myself, who will one day become a diplomat, can do it all by myself. I will need each and every other young people to participate in dialogues, to participate in constructive discussions, so that I can also see how well I can also shape the future for all of us. Thank you.
Lovely. Well done.
So I'll be very succinct in my last words. What I want to say is take advantage of opportunities to travel anytime you get it. Usually finance is a barrier, but then always try to explore alternatives when it comes to getting funding to travel, because it's very important. You learn a lot when you travel. There are so many things I've seen here that I never saw in Ghana, and these are things I'm going to build on when I get back to Ghana. So best wishes to everyone.
That's lovely. And on my part, take advantage of the free resources that are available for everyone. When we were at the UN campus in Bonn, they mentioned a particular website. I think it's a UN Sustainable Staff.
Yes.
Yes, so there are some free courses on there that UN staff and other stakeholders as well can take to have that sort of certification within the UN system. So I think you should take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And then when we visited DW as well, they mentioned this app that they have for those who are interested in learning German. The app is called Learning German. So yes, take advantage of it. And as always, put yourself in your personal development for thank you and bye from Bonn.